Hello everybody, my name is Maria and I'm an artist. Today I'm happy to introduce to you my new artwork, which is my quick self-portrait from a mirror in oils. I made it in 1.5 hours and I will show you all the painting process from the beginning till the end, and of course I will show you all the details of an artwork. The painting in detail close-up, framed in my favorite format. I'm showing the painting from afar, and next to it is another recent self-portrait of mine and a recent landscape above. I painted these paintings in February. They are also in the same frames and the same format as today's work. Now I'm shooting a picture under artificial lighting from a lamp. And at the end of the video I'll also show how the picture looks in the same place on the wall under natural light from a window. I begin my work with the preparation of brushes and welcome you. I take 2 large brushes, mix a common light color for the figure on the palette and just lay a common silhouette spot with bold, careless strokes. I continue to use the vertical layout of the palette. This method is the most convenient for me, and I also stopped using the line in painting. Somewhere I make mistakes in my lines and immediately draw new ones on top. Now it is important for me to create a common main color spot. It is important to understand which extreme points will enter the picture and how I will position the figure in the canvas. The second spot that I mix on the palette is a dark background, and now I just cover it on the canvas, simultaneously outlining the silhouette shapes and clarifying it. I try to cover the entire canvas as quickly as possible so that I can evaluate the compositional solution, and when I'm satisfied with it, move on to clarifying shapes and shades. At the very initial stage, I used only 2 colors, the color of the figure and the background color. But there is also a third color, the color of the canvas. I leave it its untouched areas, and thus it also beats my painting. Next, I outline the lightest spots on the figure, and after that the darkest, but not darker than the darkest background. My idea in this painting is a very dark, absorbing background and a light, contrasting soft spot of a person on it. You can see how in the beginning I get rough, not always heavy strokes, but that's how it should be. The oil forgives all mistakes, and on top of inaccurate strokes I applied more accurate ones. I would even say that accurate strokes are created due to inaccurate ones. Mistakes help me understand what I want to fix and what I want to achieve. This is an important idea for me, and thanks to it, oil is my favorite material. I also love the oil because it doesn't change color after drying. Even after a year, it remains the same as I see it now. In the process of creating a work, I clarified the light areas on the hair, on the face, on clothes, shadows in the eye sockets, on the side of the face and on the neck. Now I pay attention to the study of portrait similarity and clarify the unique facial features. Now it is clearly visible that at first I go through a lot of mistakes, incorrect proportions and incorrect tonal relationships, which I correct in the process of work, and only then get the desired result. I get the right strokes only through the process of trial and error. As I said at the beginning, there are two main color spots in this painting: a dark background and a light figure, in which, in turn, there are three more colors: hair, clothes, and skin. These three colors are very light in themselves and are very similar to each other in tone. So my task is to be more precise in nuanced color shades, so that hair, skin, and clothes exist separately from each other, don't argue with each other, and don't merge, to make it very clear where one ends and the other begins. I have just added a fifth spot to the foreground. This is the edge of the chair on which my elbow rests. For me, it was an important moment so that my hand would not remain hanging in the air. Having clarified the face and clothes, I turn to the hand. I want to make it contrast and bring it to the foreground, as well as the brush in my hand. This is the closest thing the viewer sees. In this portrait, the recognition of the person is important to me, that is myself. But I still want to leave the face in the background and the artist's contrasting brush in the first place. I'm clarifying the details of the hand, the artistic brush, the face and clothes are almost finished, but these are all details on top of the most important artistic idea, that is the composition. Of course, at the very beginning of the work, I concentrated on the compositional solution within the canvas. But even before this initial stage, before starting work, I am thinking about the composition. I'm thinking about how to put a mirror, an easel, how the light will fall. I always prefer natural light from the window so I can see more colors. Such a creative process is to find a successful compositional arrangement. The most interesting thing is if it still turns out to be new, unused previously in my works, with the good lighting, not only of the person, but also of the easel with a palette. I need to see well what kind of painting turns out. In the final 3 minutes of this painting process video, on the right side, I added a slow motion time-lapse as everything was created from the very beginning. And on the left side, I continue to add the final finishing touches to the almost finished painting. On the right, there is a more detailed angle, a closer focus on the canvas and palette, where the creation and solution of each artistic task, which I mentioned earlier, can be seen step by step. And also for me it always looks very interesting how an almost finished work can be compared with the very first sketches, because at that time I didn't know yet what will happen, and now you can clearly see everything. These are the two stages that I like on both sides of the screen right now. I can't tell which side I like more. The right side without details is no worse then the detailed left, right. Only the hand is missing, but if we talk about the lack of details on the hair and on the face, then this is also an interesting option for me. Sometimes working on painting for a long time, complicating the picture, I can only make it worse. This is one of the reasons why I like quick sketches. They have lightness and expressiveness. Therefore, at the last stage of creation, I ask myself the following questions. What important points do I still lack in this work? I am eager to finish it as soon as possible. And for another reason, when working in natural light, I rely on the sun and it tends to set, especially early in winter. And in the video you can see how after this 1.5 hours it is already getting darker. So with my last strokes of paint, I create glasses in the foreground on my face. And I wish you to have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, you can see more of my arts on my Instagram. I apply a lot of reels, videos, and also posts, a lot of my paintings. And here is the final result up close with the natural light from a window. I'm showing it from the same angle as at the beginning of the video. My other works are nearby, and I like how they always look in a new way depending on the viewing angle and lighting. Goodbye!